What's up, garden family? This is Raj, and I'm coming back at y'all with a brand new video. I'm going to show you guys just how to build your own raised bed. Now, this is pretty simple. I'm going to guide you guys step by step on what you need to get, what you need to do, and the whole 9 yards, okay? So just stay tuned for this good information. We all need to go ahead and start doing our own thing and growing our own food. So this is the way to do it, all right? All right, guys, so the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and get some soil. There's this soil company called Britain Industries. Britain Industries is definitely one of my favorite places to go when it comes to getting mulch, topsoil, compost, or just potting soil in general. They have almost everything I need here. The quality is excellent. I have never had bad quality from these guys at all. Now, their prices is pretty reasonable. Like, I seen great prices compared to other places here, all right? So if you're in the Vero Beach location or anywhere like near St. Lucie in general, definitely come over here and get some good soil, all right? So I'm just going to go ahead and pick up some potting soil, and it's going to have some compost mixture mixed into it. So it's pretty lightweight. It does got sand in it. It does have bark, but it definitely has some compost in there. All right, fam, so the next thing I'm going to tell you is to go ahead and pull up to Home Depot. If you like to go to Lowe's, go to Lowe's, but me, I'm already accustomed to go to Home Depot, so they got everything I pretty much need here. So the main thing we need to go ahead and get is some wood. We definitely going to have some stain to protect the wood, and we need to make sure we get the compost, some more compost actually, and some organic fertilizer. Okay, so I'm over here picking up the wood now. Now, I use pressure treated wood so that way it lasts longer, but I do line the inside so that way it's not connected to the soil. I'm using 2x12 by 8s. I need 3 of these because the bed is going to be 8 foot by 3 foot wide, so definitely need that. If you can't cut your own wood, they can do it right here too on top of that. So I'm over here getting the screws. So I'm using 3-inch deck screws for exterior, and that's the price right there. For the wood, I'm going to use exterior waterproof Bear Premium, and definitely they have different colors that you can choose from. Get the small one because I don't think you need a lot. Go ahead and get you a paintbrush because you're definitely going to need this for putting that on, and go ahead and get you some glasses too, just to protect your eyes, just in case you don't have any. Now, as far as seeds go, you can definitely get seeds from here. Make sure you get the organic ones. I don't really get the burpee ones, but I like to get seeds of change. They pretty cool to me. Okay, so let's go ahead and slide on to the garden department. There's a few things that we definitely need to get. Let's go ahead and get some dry fertilizer from Dr. Earth Organics. This is the best one I really like to use. It's easy to break down and has no problem with my garden. We definitely like to use the liquid fertilizer. This is very good for your veggies too, so definitely use that. If you don't want to use that, go ahead and use the fish fertilizer. But I mainly like to use this for my fruit trees, so it's up to you. You can pick what you want. Now let's go ahead and slide over and get some compost. Make sure you get the organic one, and this is like one of the best ones I like to use. You can get some starter plants here if you want to, but me personally, I don't really get too much from here, only because of those prices. It's pretty ridiculous over here in this section. Like, come on, Bonnie, like, y'all need to tighten up. Like, look at this. This is crazy, man. All right, you guys, so I'm ready to check out, and I'm ready to go ahead and get this garden built. So I'm going to meet you over to the garden, and I'm going to show you just how to build this garden, right? Let's go. All right, so I got my own cutting tool, so I'm going to do everything myself, and I'm going to show you just what I'm doing, especially if you already got your own tools too. So this is a good follow along, something to follow along to. That way you can go ahead and understand the procedure that I'm showing you. So pretty much go ahead and get your wood, go ahead and get everything stocked up. Now, me personally, I'm doing everything on the ground, so I do need to use these blocks so that way I can help support the wood as I'm cutting them. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and cut the wood for the sides. So you're going to measure 3 feet, all right? So Each side is going to be 3 feet, as you can see here. I'm going to go ahead and mark that. There we go. And then pretty much I'm just going to go ahead and make my cut. Now sometimes what I like to do, I like to go ahead and just put the blade to the marking just to make sure the blade itself is actually going to be spot on. All right, so once it's spot on, you just go ahead and make your cut, but take it slow though. You don't have to go too fast when you make this cut. Just cut it like butter, but take your time. All right. All right, so that's it. We went ahead and made our cut. It's pretty clean, so let's go ahead and make another 3-foot cut so that way we have 2 sides ready to go. All right, so it's the same thing. Just take your measuring tape, go ahead and measure 3 feet, go ahead and make your mark, and then you're ready to go. All right, fam, so now that you have your wood cut, now the 8-foot boards you definitely didn't have to cut. Just go ahead and take them out, lay them side by side, leave a gap for your 3-foot board so that way you can lay them down side by side as well. Keep in mind that most of these boards have these yellow tags, so make sure you take the yellow tags off because sometimes they can be in the way when it comes to drilling your boards together. So I got my power drill, I got my 3-inch screws, so we definitely ready to go. Since I'm solo dolo, I definitely got to do this my kind of way. I definitely got to hold the board up with both of my feet, and I'm going to try to connect the corner. So I'm going to work one corner at a time, and I'm going to show you just how I do it. All right, so I got my power drill ready to go, got my screw. Now you definitely don't want to go too high, and you definitely don't want to go too low. You're going to have 3 screws going into the sides, so 1 at the top, 1 in the middle, and 1 at the bottom. All right, so that way you have enough strength to hold the garden bed together. So as you see, I'm making sure I'm aiming right in the middle of the next board, so that way it's not going to be off. So once you got that side up, you definitely want to go ahead and start on the opposite side. Okay, so that's what it looks like for right now, and definitely it's clean. Everything is shaped up real nice. So now that we on the other side, you pretty much just going to repeat the same thing that you did with the first bed. Just make sure you line it up really good, and then take your time when you put the screw in. Now if you want to go ahead and pre-drill if you want to. Me personally, I don't really pre-drill that much. I just try to take my time. Now go ahead and lift the garden up, because I'm going to show you an easy way without having to bend down as much. So now that you have that lifted up, right, that other side of the board, the 8-foot board, go ahead and put it right on top, and pretty much you're just going to do the same thing as far as putting the corners together, but it's going to be much easier because you get to stand up. So just go ahead and line them up really nice, make sure they're not off. Now I'm gonna show you something else too. Now you see that, now that has nothing to do with you. That's actually the wood. It's a little slanted, so I'm gonna show you how to correct that in a minute. But go ahead and make sure that your screw is straight, and just hold it steady, and do not slip and hurt yourself. All right, just make sure you wear gloves when you do this. Okay, so now we back on the other side, and pretty much you just want to do the same thing. Now I didn't go all the way through to the bottom on the other side, so now with this side I just want to go ahead and make sure this side is straight as well before we put any more screws in. All right, so now we back on the first side. Right now, to correct that slanted, I'm going to show you just what I do. Right, it's all in your hip, so you just want to make sure you kind of press and pull, and at the same time drill the screw in, so that way you can correct that little imperfection of the wood. All right, now go ahead and put the rest of the screws in, and you definitely go ahead and continue both sides, so that way you make sure your garden is intact. All right, so that's what we're looking like right now. All 4 corners are screwed in. We did a great job in making sure that everything is 100% straight. So the next step is to go ahead and start using your stain. And you want to make sure when you pop the seal, after you pop the seal actually, make sure you mix up the paint really good with your brush or something, because if you don't, then it's not going to be an even coat. So just to make sure, just go ahead and whisk it up a couple times. Go ahead and put that wrist game on it, and you ready to go. So pretty much what I'm doing is I'm just brushing it lightly back and forth, and I'm making sure that that finished stroke is going one direction. Now you definitely going both directions when you try to put it on first, just to get it on. But when you finish it or wipe it up, just make sure you wipe in one direction, so that way you don't have any streaks or anything like that. Now the thing I like about Bear is when you use this on your wood, it doesn't take that long to dry. Now even though it's pressure treated wood, it does take a little bit longer than natural wood, but still I want to say about like 15 minutes max. If you just allow this to dry, it definitely is going to dry for you without no problem. Now make sure you get every corner of your garden, because you want to make sure your garden is nice, and I got OCD at the same time, so I got to make sure this come out really nice. Okay, now you definitely want to add 2 coats. So after your first coat, let it rest, let it sit, let it dry, and then go ahead and add your second coat, so that way it's penetrating through the wood. And then on top of that, you make sure you got a nice solid coat. Okay, we don't want anything looking shabby over here. All right, so the second coat is on. As you can see, it's a little bit more golden, and it's bringing out that natural color in the wood too at the same time. So go ahead and get your cardboards, because we definitely going to need this for this next step. What we need to do now that we have stained and everything, and you also got to remember this is pressure treated wood, we need to make sure that the soil is separated between the wood, so that way none of the stuff that's inside the wood is leaching into the soil. Now cardboard is a new thing. I usually use plastic, I'm gonna be honest with you, but I'm trying to get away from plastic completely. So I use cardboards on this bed just to see how it's going to come out. Now basically what I'm doing is I'm taking the cardboards, I'm putting them up against the edge, and then I'm just folding it over, so that way it makes this crease. So now that you got this crease, you just want to make sure it's nice and tight and firm. Now try not to move it. All right, now just take a knife or something sharp, and that crease that you made, you just want to score it. You don't want to cut through it, but you just want to score it, so that way when it's time to fold it over, you can staple it really easy. And actually that's the next process that you need to do after you score it. Okay, so now that you made your slice on the cardboard, the next step is to go ahead and get your stapling gun, and you want to go ahead and shoot some staples through the cardboard, and it's going to hit the back of the wood. All right, so just make sure you get the top, you get the bottom. I usually just put 3 on the top, 3 on the bottom, and then flip it over, flip the cardboard down, and then put the staples again, so that way the flaps can stay down, as you can see here. And it looks pretty sharp, like it's not that bad, right? Okay, so the next step is to go ahead and focus on the center. Now that you got the sides up, you need to focus on the center, because you want to make sure that no grass or weeds come up through the garden. Okay, so as you see, this grass looks pretty terrible. Like honestly, like this grass is pretty dead already, but we still want to make sure that nothing comes through. So go ahead and smother it. Now you want to make sure that you don't have any gaps. Okay, so make sure you close any gaps, and if you have extra cardboard, just put it on, you know, as a second layer, so that way you got more protection. Okay guys, so that's pretty much it as far as building the garden. I definitely want to keep this video short and sweet for you, so I just want to make sure you get the basic understanding on how to build the garden. So there's definitely going to be a part 2 after this video, and I'm going to drop that tomorrow, and it's pretty much going to be pertaining to putting the soil in, getting your plants in, nourishing them, watering them, and make sure you're taking care of your garden as a whole. So thank you so much for watching this video. If this resonates with you, please drop a like and comment and let me know what your thoughts. Okay, all right, peace.